That was supposed to be part of my gig. Alright, I was supposed to turn around and be like, hello, welcome to another episode of Drunken Cooking, Pirate Edition. This is my bird Kiwi. He will be helping us today. So, we are going to make chicken risotto. I know it's Italian and I sound very Russian, but who cares? And I'm drinking Scottish beer. Alright, so what we're going to do is first you get your rice. Arborio rice is the main. Too fast. Nice pan. Nice. Okay. So, arborio rice, rinse. Make sure the starch gets out of it. That's the rice you're going to be using. We have my chicken here. That'll work because the rice takes about 45 minutes to cook through. So, we will get to those details here in just a second. So, we have our rice. We have broth here. Can you see the broth in the shot there, dude? Okay, if you pan slow. We have about 4 cups of broth. You add it in slow so that way you put it in, it'll cook down, and then you keep adding more until the rice is done. So I usually start with about 4 cups. That usually works pretty well. I also have onions, garlic also for the risotto. So first things first. Sorry, my dogs are playing. We got hot pan of oil going. We're going to kind of turn that down a little bit. We're going to put some butter in there. Now, butter, that will help with the garlic. And the onions. I am using a Land O'Lakes European style salted butter. It is 82% fat, so it's very, very delicious and yummy. My wife hates that word yummy. That's why I like to use it, because she's like, that's for kids. So we're going to put that in the oil. Hold on, Kiwi boy. Get that going. Now we're going to put our onions in there. Woohoo! Turn my heat down a little bit. Got a little dicey in there. So we're going to let those turn translucent. And once they get translucent, we'll add in the garlic. And I know, here we go, the rice. Ba-ba-ba-bum. So, once these get good to go, which with the heat, they turn translucent pretty quick. So we're going to put some garlic in there now. I use about a tablespoon. Bird always looks at me like, are you crazy?
No, he's probably just staring at the food, Dad.
Is that sanitary? Because it looks questionable to me.
Alright, so we're going to let that heat up there for a second. As we're doing that, we're going to cut up our chicken. Hey Ruben, we are doing something here. Now remember, you have been drinking, your knives are sharp, don't cut your fingers off.
Dad, you might want to move the butter.
I might want to move the butter.
Yeah.
Why? Who doesn't like a crowning jewel of towering butter in front of stuff?
Well, that crowning jewel butter could be over here.
Why is that?
Because it's right in front of what you're doing, so they can't really see what you're doing.
Oh, well, it's a good thing you're there to help me, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all I want to do is, be sitting here handling raw chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? And then touch butter. So, getting our chicken all cubed up.
No.
Stop. What are you doing, Ruben? Huh?
It's connected to the speaker.
What are you doing?
Don't you have your Wii?
Alright, I smell my onions. So mind you, it's been actually a pretty good day. Went golf with my uncle, my aunt, my dad. Had a good round. Had lots of fun. Okay, so we'll wait until our onions and our garlic is brown right there. Go nice and easy. Don't pan too fast there, boss. Okay, then we're gonna add in our rice. I have 2 cups of rice, arborio, and most of your rices for every 1 cup. You double it in size once it's done. So this right here will make a pretty good size portion. So we're gonna kind of mix this around, kind of coat the rice. There wasn't enough butter in there, so I'm gonna cut some more. You're panning a lot. You're moving a lot again. Please stop.
Okay.
We only have 1 take at this. Alright, so that's probably all the butter we'll use. And for reference, it was about 2.5 tablespoons, pad and a half. I'm gonna coat these rice pretty well. Get that butter melted, get it going. You can use oil if you're not a butter type of person. I know some people, I don't need butter in my life, I need to lower my cholesterol. You can do oil, extra virgin olive oil too. You can do that as well. So for the chicken, as of now, I have a pan over here. The chicken's here, waiting for my rice to go for the second. Thank you, Ruben. We appreciate that. A little bit of salt. Boom. Pepper. Italian seasoning. We are just getting this ready for the pan. Not necessarily baking the pan right now. We're cooking it in the pan because our risotto is nowhere close. You can do a risotto, I mean, I've done it within 15 minutes. You know, most restaurants and stuff, they can do it within 10. 20 is very, very difficult to do, but you can do it. Most of the time, mine takes about 40. Because as you get your rice going, you start adding in your broth little by little until your rice is not crunchy, which I was the king of crunchy rice for a long time. Still kind of am. Yeah, I know Kiwi, right? So let's close this nasty cupboard there. This part of it usually takes about 2 to 3, 4 minutes, but I added a piece of butter in there that was still kind of frozen. So it's taking a second for it to melt down. So the other ingredients we're going to need, like I said, is about 4 cups of broth. We'll add that in slow. Let the rice absorb it every so often, and then we'll just keep adding more until the rice is done to your likeness. Once that's done, we're going to put in a cup of Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper to taste. Put our chicken on top, and we'll be good to go. When we get to that time and place, I will show you the done product. Okay, welcome back to Drunken Cooking. I am sitting here doing the risotto. Can I help you?
I was gonna grab this stuff.
Clive, can I help you?
I was gonna
Now
grab
you're on
that.
TV. What are you going to do now? Okay, so I'm here doing the risotto. I'm putting in the broth about a half a cup to a cup at a time. Once it starts going, you'll kind of wait for it to thicken, and as soon as you can kind of reduce it enough to where when you pull you'll see streaks, then you can add more broth. But for the most part, you just kind of keep an eye on it. You let it kind of roil, get to a boil, move it around. Then when it's ready, just grab, sorry, pardon my reach, a little bit more broth. Just pour in about a cup at a time. And you let it reduce down. The rice will soak up the flavor of the broths. I'm using vegetable broth, better than bouillon. You can use chicken. I mean, obviously we're making a chicken risotto, so chicken would be a better option. But all I had was vegetables, so I'm kind of just making the best of it. So we're gonna start going there. Let that all that rice soak up that beautiful, beautiful flavor. And then we'll start on our chicken here in a minute. Got my hot pan ready. We're going there, of course. Like I said before, you got those nice edges right there where it shows your oil's all nice. Boom, boom, boom. So we got our chicken here, just salt, pepper, a little bit of Italian seasoning. And then we got beer, whiskey, vodka, tequila, whatever you prefer is usually best. And then we'll come back when we're ready to put in this into the final motions. So right now, let me check it here. Still pretty watery. So we'll just kind of let it go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll add in the rest of the broth. At one point, you will have to add in the Parmesan cheese. It'll kind of thicken it up. So if your stuff's a little watery, it's okay. All right, so you see that right there, how it's kind of starting to get a little thick. Kind of starts to leave streaks. We're gonna let it go for a couple more minutes longer before we add in the rest of the stock. You can always add more stock. Like I said, I start off with 4. Sometimes it could take 3, depending on if you're using a cup of rice, 2 cups of rice, 3 cups of rice. Depending on how much you're using, depends on how much stock you put in. I start with 4, but it could be 4.5, 5. It's all like estimation, just until the rice is done and it's not crunchy. Yeah, I make a lot of crunchy rice, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm getting better. So, and that's why I'm making these, because half the time when you're drunk, you kind of make stuff a little bit better because you just don't care. So we're gonna go there, and we'll be there in probably 3 to 5 minutes Turkish.
Doc wants to say goodbye.
Here we are making risotto, chicken risotto. Got the rice here. I actually ended up having to put in another almost 2 cups of broth. That nice thick stuff down at the bottom there leaves nice lines. That's kind of what we want. We don't want it to be runny. Let it kind of cook up. You still kind of see some whitey rices in there, but we don't want undercooked rice. That's just kind of gross. So if you have to add more broth, do more broth, that's fine. Over here we got a chicken going. Get those brown. Once you do that, and then we'll sit here. But at this time, once our broth's here, make sure you check your rice. Get a spoon, check your rice, make sure it's salt, pepper to your liking, season to your liking. Always test as you go. That way you also know when your rice is done. So from here, we come over here, cup of parm. If you're a cheese lover, add 2 cups of parm. If you don't like cheese, add a half a cup of parm. If you want to add just the right amount, add a cup and a half. It's all to your discretion. So we're going to kind of mix that in there. That'll also thicken up your rice a little bit. If you still have to add in, parm, or broth at this time, you can. It makes it a little weird, but if you can try to hit your rice the way you can, consistency of your rice the way you like it before you add your cheese, that would be best. So, got that in there, I'll incorporate it in there nice. Get this chicken going. So all we got here is just salt, pepper, some Italian seasoning. Get that chicken all nice and browned up on each side. Smells really good. So plating wise, you can go plate, you could go a bowl, but if you're gonna make it fancy, might as well go with the plate bowl. Best of both worlds. It looks like a plate, but it's a bowl. So from here, I'm going to take this right here. Why don't you hold that here, back right there. Can you hold it still for me, please? Yep. Okay. So from here, get a risotto, put that in the center. Risotto doesn't have to be just from a fancy restaurant. You can do it at home too. So most portions are like 1.5 cups to 2 cups. That's about fair. Keep it on the plates, please. Thank you. Alright, now we're going to get our piece of chicken on top here. We're going to leave some in the pan because we have a family member that is not here with us tonight. She is working, so we're going to save her some of this delicious dinner for when she comes home. So we got some chicken. Chicken there.
Looks very brown.
Huh?
Looks very brown.
Oh, okay. They're sous chef Ruben, you know, who's been through 17 years of culinary school. Cilantro, could use parsley. And then, who doesn't love cheese? Bam, a little bit more parm on there. You have yourself a nice chicken and risotto. Compliments of Drunken cooking. Thank you, I appreciate it. Sorry for the bad camera angles. Kids were involved in this. I apologize.